Hey guys, welcome to the new comic video. I'll be working on one page of Spice Cake here from start to finish. I don't really know what to start off with in terms of what to talk about, but if you would like to read the new episode, there's 4 pages in this new episode. It should now be available on Tapastic and on Webtoon. It'll also be available on Dilly Hub, which is a new webcomic platform that I will be uploading my comics on. I've been trying to move some old comics on there as well. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can check all the links down below in the description box. I'll link all the platforms that I'm posting these on. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so if it's not available yet, I set it to go live on at about like 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so maybe you won't have access to those pages until later in the afternoon or in the evening, depending on your time zone. But this episode should be available for you to read, and my members would have read it earlier. But yeah, this was quite an intensive page. It's a bit more action oriented in terms of there's a lot of things going on and it's a little bit confusing. If you're watching this video before reading the pages or the episode, then you're mightily confused, but I think you are anyway. But I did struggle a little bit with this panel right here that I'm working on in terms of finalizing the effects and stuff at the end, so the line art, and also just adding on the brushes and the patterns and stuff like that. I struggled a lot. It took me some time. I did get rid of some of the footage from that because it just took forever. It's just me experimenting with different things. And by the end of it, I decided, okay, Joy, remember, you want to make it as clean and as simple as possible. You don't want to spend too much time on all these panels. Like, you want to spend time and make effort and make them look good, but you don't want to go crazy. So that really helped me rein back a bit. But yeah, this page was a little bit of a struggle. There's another page in this episode where I actually had to add it in after I drew the pages. It was originally going to be a 3 page episode, but I needed some kind of something to break up the things that were going on just to make it a bit more readable. So yeah, I was going to include that in that video, but this video would have been longer than that. It would have been at least 35 minutes or over an hour, and I decided I don't think people watch my like speed painting videos or my comic videos for that long. They're not that interested, I think. The vlogs, people put them on a lot, I think, when they're doing other things, but if it's like a speed painting video where what you're watching is pretty static, then people just usually kind of skip around, which I do too, so I'm guilty of that as well. So I wanted to make this not too long of a video to watch, but and also I wouldn't know what to talk about for an hour. But yeah, so I really like how the page turned out. I think it's a nice end to the episode, and I will be working on the next couple pages again. I think I've decided to, instead of posting the pages every time I finish one, I might finish them, upload them in batches of episodes. So episodes I'm using kind of lightly because I don't want to pigeonhole myself into creating quote-unquote episodes, but I'm gonna upload pages that make sense together, like a scene or something that happens in the comic instead of just page by page, because I think that's a bit better and digestible when people are following my comic. So that's what I think anyway. If you're the type of person who likes page by page updates every week, let me know. I'm really interested to see how people read their comics that are, constantly still updating or are still ongoing. I think I like the format where there's a couple pages every time, just so you don't forget what happens in the previous page like a week ago. Anyway, so let me stop talking about pages and episodes. I was gonna discuss something else. Oh yes, so in the last couple days I was a little bit burnt out in terms of creating content. I was still drawing and stuff, but I was a bit burnt out working on getting my pages out. So these pages took a little bit longer than the others, plus because I'm moving over to creating batches of uploads instead of page by page, then it might take longer, but I'm still really enjoying how they look, the process, and I'm really excited that it's starting to get going. I'm just, trying to be patient with myself too, because I really want to get into the meat of the story. We're going to be introducing a new character very soon. This is a character that I've talked about in my vlogs and I've drawn him in a couple videos before. He's Kevin the cat. So he's this purple cat, and he was originally from this comic Spice Cake, and then I just decided to make him kind of a mascot of a lot of my stuff. So I draw him a lot in like button designs and stickers. I made a shirt of him once. I think I did mention this in one of the comic videos. So he's gonna get introduced soon, so you'll understand where he's coming from and what kind of character he is and what role he plays in the slowly expanding Spice Cake universe. So yeah, I'm getting really excited to get to that point of the story. I think we're pretty much leaving the whole kind of pilot, quote unquote, or introduction of Spice Cake. Basically, what we're going to get into is Abbott and Stella are going to be moving to a new place because they are, if you've read the comic, they're on the run from something that I have not revealed yet, so they would like to move somewhere else. And in this place that they move into will be where most of the kind of adventures happen, or they'll meet new people, new characters, interact with other people, and things will happen in terms of why are they running away, what are they running away from, and why does Abbott look like this, and he has some kind of power. So yeah, that's where the whole setting is going to be. So I'm kind of stewing about that in my mind as to how to create that environment. I haven't really sat down to think about it yet, but I know I want it to be kind of a small little town, so we'll see. There are more characters that will come in. I'm a little nervous about that because two characters plus another one is already a lot to handle for me. I want to make my characters consistent and believable, even though it is a fantasy story and kind of weird things happen to it. So I'm really nervous about that. I'm trying to just enjoy the process, I think. So I'll not be nervous anymore. But yeah, I'm doing the line art now, so I'm just using my regular brush. Because this page was so intensive, the line art process was longer than usual, so I stared at the line art for longer than I would like to. And a lot of the times when that happens, when I spend more time on the line art than when I'm sketching or finalizing it, I get a lot more doubts because, again, like I said in a previous video, this is the very ugly stage. I keep thinking to myself, oh my god, it doesn't look good as a line art, so how is it going to look good? But adding the stuff onto it really, really helps, so I'm just trying to be patient with that. But if it's a more intensive page, actually, if it also is a very simple page, then the line art really pops out and becomes kind of the main focus of your work. So it's really difficult, but we are plowing ahead. And yeah, so again, I'm working now on this panel, finalizing it. I did, like I said, cut off a lot of the process of it because I just didn't know. I had this image in my mind of how I wanted this panel to go, but it didn't really work. So in terms of the brushes that I had, so I had to I played around with it for at least half an hour, this one panel, and I decided on, I guess what I decided in at the end, which I already forgot because I went through so many different iterations of this. But yeah, I think it turned out really great in the end. Adding the sound effects and stuff in the text really kind of boosts it and makes it look final, which is great. Speaking of, I guess we'll talk about a little bit of a different topic. In the last weekend, I was at my first virtual convention. It was the first virtual convention that I went to. So what I did was I have a store up event. It's for the Toronto Comic Arts Festival virtual version. So what they did this year is they set up these little vendor shops for exhibitors who had signed up, and the vendors or the exhibitors can post stuff that they would like to sell on this virtual shop that they created. And I was also scheduled for a virtual Zoom room. So basically I just sat in a Zoom room or a Zoom breakout room, and whoever wanted to visit me, whether it be new people or people who follow my work, can just drop by. So I've never done that before, and I decided I wanted to do like a virtual convention table. So I set up my dining table to look like a convention table. I put my tablecloth, I set up my zines and my comics, and then I set up my webcam to show me sitting at that table. I even had my banner up. I'll show you a couple pictures here if you'd like to see. And so that was really fun, setting up a convention table, because I haven't done that in over a year and I really missed it. I even forgot where I had put all my stuff. I had put it in a big suitcase, with the last suitcase that I used for my last convention. And it took me a little bit to find it, and I found everything, and it was nice because everything was in one place like I put it last time. So I had set that up. It was really fun setting that up. In terms of the virtual Zoom room, it was cool. It was a little bit awkward. It was kind of like it was just me for the most part when the session started, because it went from 5 to 7. In the very beginning, there were, I think, 2 people that popped in. So there was 2 people in one room with me. So there's a total of 3, including me. And I don't know about you, but I think that can get really awkward, because it's like a lot of people, I think, intend to pop into these rooms to kind of lurk. But if there's only like one person and the artist, me, there, it's kind of awkward, and you don't really want to jump out of the room when you're the only one there, because it's a little rude. But also, like, you don't want to talk either. So yeah, and I totally understood that, and I was kind of mean because when somebody popped in, I would say like, hey, and then their name, so they're kind of obliged to stay and say hello even if they don't want to. But I don't know how other virtual conventions do it in terms of these like Zoom rooms. I don't know if TCAF is the only one who's done it. I don't think so, but the traffic was really low, so it was kind of awkward for people who are coming in. And towards the end of the session, just all the artists who were doing Zoom rooms at that time, we just popped into one main room and we just talked with each other, which is kind of funny because that's what kind of happens at actual conventions sometimes. When the traffic is slow, you just hang out with your table mates, who your fellow exhibitors who are close by to you, and you just chat together. So a lot of us, like in the in the Zoom rooms, we just chatted with each other and exchanged Instagram links and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. It was really fun. I met new artists, obviously, and we talked for a while until the session ended. But it was just funny thinking about that parallel between like a real life convention and what happens when the traffic is so low that you just talk with your table mates. It was really nice. It was really nostalgic, and I do miss doing conventions. And I don't think I'll be doing a convention in a while, maybe another year or so, until this whole pandemic kind of hopefully slows down. It's still really real, and it's still really brutal happening all over the world. I did get my first vaccination shot this past Tuesday. So we are making our way slowly into becoming fully vaccinated here. My next shot is in August, so it's quite a while, just because vaccination rollout in Ontario, at least, is fairly slow in terms of the stock. So they really have to schedule it that way, and I can't get my shot in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I have to wait quite a while. But I'm just happy I was able to get it, so my second shot won't take too long. And I think once everyone is close to getting their final dosage of the vaccinations, I don't think we will be going back to some sort of normal until maybe a year later. I don't think I'll be traveling until a year for my last dose. I'm not sure. I think people should be really careful about it. And yeah, I mean, it sucks. And I do think that we're never going to go back to a real normal anymore. It's going to be different. I've been hearing rumblings about people not wanting to go back to work and wanting to do stay-at-home work. My boyfriend definitely wants to stay at home in terms of working. He doesn't want to go back to the office. And I think a lot of people have their eyes opened in terms of what you can do from home instead of commuting, an hour and a half to an office. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about the whole pandemic thing. It's so unavoidable sometimes because it's just such a part of our lives nowadays that it's just a normal part of the conversation, which is kind of sad. So, okay, let me go back to the comic. So now we are pretty much towards the finalization of this. I'm adding the thought bubbles finally. So, and I'm as I work on these pages, I'm experimenting with a lot of how finishing, panels. Like I'm adding this kind of design here, so I've never done that before, and I think it's pretty cool. So I am using a lot of different techniques as I work on the pages, which is a little bit of a scary thought for me because it changes. It's not going to be consistent, so each page is going to have something different to offer, or every couple of pages there's always something different that I've discovered, or like a new kind of bubble or something like that that I've drawn that I want to incorporate. So, but I think comics are like that. Unless they're like a one issue thing, if you are following a comic for a while, the artist always changes. There's always growth in what an artist is doing. So, and it's more obvious when you're working with something that's kind of a long form series like this one. But I think it's just part of it, and I think I'm trying to expand my brain to accept that fact. And if I do end up printing Spice Cake, if I do have enough for a first issue or a first volume, which is kind of the goal, hopefully, then you can kind of see that progression. But again, taking it easy. Don't want to think too far ahead and just kind of intimidate myself. Oh, okay, so I wanted to talk quickly about this last panel here where the other Abbott, is naked. I didn't know what to do, so I didn't want to fully show, his ween or anything like that. I wanted it to be a little bit subtle. So here's me pausing, kind of thinking about what to do. I was like, maybe I'll draw Stella's face on that part, kind of covering it, and her eyes are bleeding or something. She's like, why am I seeing this? I didn't want to see this. I honestly feel really attacked right now. I just went downstairs. But so it didn't really look good. So I played around with, maybe I'll add another panel here and draw something on top of that. But I thought it was just a bit too, it kind of took away from the finalness, from the final, what I wanted as the final image of this page. So it took me some time to think about. Here I am trying to figure out what to do, and so that's why there's the pause there. But in the end, I decided to just kind of do a little bit of a bunch of cross hatching to just show nakedness but not show anything at all, which I think works really well. And so Naked Abbott has kind of the last word in this page instead of this tiny panel that I was going for. I'm sure it could have worked if I had a better idea of what I wanted to do, but I think this works out in the end. Male anatomy for me, I'm not that great at it. I felt like when I was younger and I was learning and I was doing a lot more bodies and anatomy, I felt like it was better, but I don't know. It's readable. It looks like a guy, so I guess I need to do more studies of naked females too. I think I'm just so used to drawing people in clothes now that it's tough when I have to draw somebody without them. Which is kind of a funny thought. But yeah, so we are ending towards the end of the page here. So now I'm doing the sound effects and stuff. I am using the Back Issues font that I downloaded for free. It was a free font that was available online, and I just do strokes around it on the effects. Just add a white stroke or a black stroke depending on what I would like to do for that portion. And then I just use a lot of perspective, distort, and warp tools for this on this Adobe Photoshop version, which is a fairly old version. And yeah, I kind of manipulate each letter just so I can make it look more less linear. So I just alter each one as much as I can. But yeah, adding the text really adds a lot. It just makes it feel like I did a good job. Here I was trying to figure out what kind of sound effect I wanted for her, coming down from the sky, from the ceiling, and going down to the ground. I guess I decided to go with this splart, which kind of makes sense, I guess. So she's buzzing around, and yeah, I think I did pretty good. So anyway, if you would like to read the pages, again, they are available now. If you would like to read my pages as they come out earlier, or a week or two earlier, then you can consider becoming a member of my Joy Club. I have a couple clubs available on my website if you'd like to sign up. I have I have a comic and journal club, which you get a lot of downloadables. You get my comics first. They are uploaded early. I do blog posts if I can and behind the scenes stuff. If you would like to become a Doodle Club member, you get something in the mail every month. And there's also the Art Pal member, or Art Pal Club member, where you get a lot more stuff. You get a print, you get stickers, and whatever I decide to give to you during that month. So yeah, you can check that out. I will leave the link down below, joysan.ca/sign up, so you can kind of look at what you can get and consider signing up. But if you prefer just to support me without money, then you can just watch my videos, and that's pretty great. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. We are at the end here, so I'm going to show you the final page. And again, if you'd like to read this, it is up on Tapas, Webtoon, and DillyHub, so check that out definitely. I am slowly moving all my comics around to the new platform. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you guys in the next video, so have a great rest of your week, and thanks again. Bye.